Page 190. This is the one at the top of the page on harmonizing. They didn't give it a title. They didn't give it a number. It's just there. All right. We had to figure out an accompaniment to this melody, but they're giving us the chords above the staff, so at least we have a little help on that one. We don't have to figure them out. First thing I want to do is play the melody. I want to hear it. So it's 2/4 time. We're in the key of F major, 1 flat, so it's here. And as far as the fingering goes, whatever. Just play the melody. Because this isn't necessarily for piano. Could be piano and you play the left hand, or it could be some other instrument, concert keyed instrument, and you're going to make up an accompaniment in both hands. Whatever. Here. Now I want to make sure I know what the chords are. So we have an F chord at the beginning. I'm just going to play block chords for now. Third measure, we have a G7 chord with an F on the bottom. A G7 chord is this, and then with the F on the bottom, so it's here. You don't have to use all 4 notes, just whichever. Generally, you're going to use these 2 and one of these. I could go here, or I could go here, or use them all. For now, I'll just do them all, and then we'll figure it out later. Usually, if the melody has one of these notes, you can leave it out, but okay. Then a C7 with an E on the bottom. C7 is like that. An E is on the bottom, so we'll put the C on top. So it's here. A lot of times we use that. That's the 5/7 chord in F. Well, okay. The third measure with the G, that's the secondary dominant. We're getting into that stuff again. That nightmare again. Okay. Then an F, major 7, C7, F. It's a lot of 1, 5, 7, 1 on here. And then go to measure 11. It is a D7, which is here. Remember, it's got to be a major here. So we've got an F sharp here. And they want the C on the bottom. So put that on the bottom. So it's here. I don't know if I'm going to use all those notes yet, but we'll see. And then a G7 with a B on the bottom. Well, the G7 is here and the B is here, so I'll put the G on top. So it's here. Here. C, G7 with a B on the bottom. It's like a 5/7 chord to the C, secondary dominant. We're reliving that nightmare again, right? Okay. And then a C7 in root position. So, something about these 7th chords, they usually resolve to something else. They don't have to. I mean, blues uses 7th chords pretty much throughout. They don't resolve, period. But a lot of these are going to resolve to something. It's like the 5/7 goes to the 1 here. We're in F major. 5/7, 1. So this secondary dominant resolves to that. It's a 5 chord. It's a secondary dominant of a 5 chord, and it resolves to the 5 chord. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting off. Now let's just hear the harmony and the melody together. So we're here at the beginning. And remember that even though there's a B flat in the key signature, the dominant 7 uses a major triad, so it's got to be a B natural and a minor 7. So they're all white keys here with F on the bottom. And then you have the C7 here. So, and then going on to C. See, the melody now has come down a little bit, so the chords are going to come down too. And here we have a D7 with here, and C on the bottom. It's got to be here. So we got to have that F sharp in there. So again, starting with here. And then a resolves into the one chord, which is the F. When we go back to the beginning, it's an F chord. Okay. So these dominants, these seventh chords, I should say, are resolving. It's like in the third measure, you have that G7 here. Well, that's going to resolve to the C. See, it's a 5-7 of 5. 5-7 resolves to the C, except we're using a C7, which resolves to the F, to the one chord. That's a 5-7. So I'm getting off. I'm trying to get you to understand the chord sequences and how one chord leads into another and the connection between them. But for this lesson, I should say that because all we want to do is harmonize this. So they didn't ask you to understand it. They just asked you to harmonize it. So we do that. Now we can try the accompaniment they're showing, the pattern. Because the right hand has a C, I'm not going to play it in the left because yeah. So and then back. Try other patterns here. What other patterns are there? Oh, I don't know. Just top and bottom. Now when you get to the seventh chord, you need to use the root and the seventh of the chord. So on the G7 here, so there you're going to use the seventh and the root, which they're next to each other. Here, and then the C7 is going to be in the B flat. They're next to each other. You could try eighth notes. It's whatever. Just experiment with the different patterns you can use in the accompaniment. Now there's a note under this to transpose it to G major. So we go up one note from F to G. So instead of one flat, we got one sharp. And the chord names, you just take them up one note. So instead of an F, I want a G chord. And instead of a G7 with an F on the bottom, I want an A7 with a G on the bottom. So I just everyone up, no, an A7 here with a G on the bottom. And instead of a C7 with an E, then I want a D7 with an F. Well, it'd be an F sharp here. Here, on the bottom. And back to the G. That by the way, is the 5-7. So you just do that, and then the melody, you take it up one. So instead of an A, it's here, and I'm going to play in the key of G major. See, I went down a half step here, so I'm going to go down a half step. Remember a G, I got an F sharp. Now you can adjust the fingering as you need to. Going right after the fine, they're F sharps here because you have an F sharp in G major. Then an E sharp, because a D sharp becomes an E sharp. And then at F natural, we're taking the note in the key up a half step. So here, instead of a C, which is in the key of G, I want a C sharp. I'm going to take it up a half step. Here. And again, take it up a half step. Because it doesn't look like that would be the way it is, but it is, really. Just so you understand, because that's confusing. This is measure 12. In the music, it's a B natural, because there's a B flat in the key of F. They're taking the note in the key up a half step. So when we transpose it, we got to do the same thing. So in the key of G, there's a C natural in the key, which is the note we want because it's above G. But we got to take it up a half step, so we have to do a C sharp. So the B natural turns into a C sharp. And people wonder why I drink. It's just, good Lord. Anyway, that's sort of what it is. Have fun with it.